There is a brand new Puss in Boots movie that is coming out next month, but I got the chance to see this movie early, and I think it's going to be one of the best animated films of the year, so let's just get to the review. Welcome back, film fans. It is Brad from Let's Be Real Brad, and today on the channel, I want to talk to you guys about the brand new computer animated comedy adventure film called Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. So if you guys didn't know already, I am a massive fan of the Shrek franchise, as I have enjoyed pretty much all the movies besides Shrek the Third, and I've watched these movies countless times growing up and still enjoy them today because, you know, Shrek is awesome. And now that we get another installment in the Shrek franchise around 11 to 12 years later from Puss in Boots that came out in 2011, I was really excited to check this out because, well, I'm a huge Shrek fan and I cannot believe how much I really love this movie. So one of the best aspects about this film has got to be the story, as I was really impressed with how the story all came together with all these different characters that are intertwined, and that it all comes down to their character arcs and their development, and it all comes down to this last wish that all these characters want and why do they want it. This movie is so character driven that I was really emotionally attached to all the characters in this movie. Speaking of the characters, this has some of the best animated characters I have seen all year, as I really enjoyed all the characters in this movie, as they're all very funny and unique and quirky, and I really enjoyed especially the villainous characters that were very strong and very compelling. One of the characters in particular, named Wolf, which you may have seen to be a very villainous and very creepy character, is used in the best way possible, and he honestly might have been my favorite character of the whole movie, because once you figure out what this character is or who he actually is, it makes the movie 100 times better, and he is easily one of the best DreamWorks villains I have ever seen. Now, going back to the animation, this is easily one of the best aspects about the film, because everything about the color and the framing and just the way that the characters look is so compelling, and I really love the fact that this movie needed to be animated. I could not take my eyes off the screen because there is so much going on at once, but it never feels like it's too much where it's just, you know, a crazy movie. This is a very well animated movie that feels different from the typical 3D animated style that we've been having for the past like decade or so. This movie feels very different, and I think it all comes back to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse of how much that movie changed the game for animated movies, and it is amazing, especially in the third act of the movie that just really shines, and it was amazing. I also found the action to be really good in this movie, with a bunch of very high stakes, high consequences type of action that really pushed itself for a DreamWorks animated type film that I was not expecting, and I think a lot of kids are definitely going to feel very on edge while watching this movie, because there are some things in this movie that are taken very seriously, especially in the third act of the movie, and you really don't know what's going to happen, and especially with Puss in Boots' character that has a very strong arc and a very different persona than we have seen from Puss in Boots. I also really love the screenplay for this movie, as it's one of those movies that is targeted toward families, but you never feel like it's talking down to any of the kids, as this is just a very well made animated film that takes its audience very seriously and expects them to know what's going on, and uses a lot of visuals to be able to tell the story and not just overly explain things. This movie just had some of the best shots of the whole year that just had all the emotion in that one scene, and I think kids and adults could just figure it out. I also love the fact that every character in this movie gets some sort of backstory and some sort of arc, and that you actually care about each character in the movie, and all the things that they say to each other are also really interesting and move the story forward. I also have to mention the incredible voice performances in this movie, as it is really top tier, especially from Antonio Banderas, who plays Puss in Boots. He is just amazing. I truly love this man. He is just so good in every movie he is in, and he is absolutely perfect for Puss in Boots. And I'm so glad he's been able to play this character through all of these years and through my childhood until now, and he sounds just as good as he did years ago. Salma Hayek is also fantastic in this movie, as well as John Mulaney and a bunch of other really incredible people. I don't really want to say who's in this movie until you see the credits and you see who is in it, because you're going to be like, wow, that was that person? Wow, they were so good. I didn't even recognize their voice, because that is true, real voice acting, and it was amazing, and it really shows when you have incredible talent for a movie like this. So overall, guys, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is literally one of my favorite movies of the year so far, and definitely one of the best animated movies of the year that was extremely entertaining with tons of great characters, incredible animation, great action, and a movie that I can emotionally attach myself to and definitely want to watch again, and definitely one of the best DreamWorks animated films I have seen in years. Go check out this movie, and I really hope that this movie is a box office success, because that the ending of this movie might set up some really fun and awesome movies in the future. I am giving Puss in Boots: The Last Wish a 9 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for checking out this review. As I want to know below in the comment section, have you seen this movie? Are you going to see this movie? Are you a massive fan of the Shrek franchise? I can't wait to hear all about it. Before you guys check out this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a like if you want to, and ring that notification bell so I can see you all in the following video.